wanted to stop by because yesterday I posted in my story that I'd had a bit of an energy sort of following me around, and I wanted to do a protection spell and a bit of a cleansing spell and a spell to sort of just clear the energy of any negative or any stagnant sort of energies that are hanging around, to clear the space of those sort of energies. And I got a lot of people messaging me saying, what was the spell? How did you do it? Can you do a video? So I'm going to jump on now, do a video and post it in my videos or whatever it's called on Instagram. I don't really know. So that you can save it and you can go back through any time that you feel like the air in your house is stale, anytime that you feel like there's a bit of a negative energy. It can be a negative person in your life as well, or like just a creepy sort of like someone behind your shoulder feeling and you turn around, there's no one there. Anything like that, this is to protect you and clear the space. So you're going to need, this is an intermediate level spell. So far, most of my spells, all my spells have just been basic spells for beginners. This is a bit more complex, and so because of that, I'm just going to run through quickly all the things that you're going to need, because you're going to need to bring a few things with you before you start the spell. So you need oils, some sort of oil that is like a banishing oil. So you can either buy an actual banishing oil off Etsy or witch supply stores, and that's perfectly fine if you want to do that. But you don't need to go and buy expensive banishing oils either. You can make your own banishing oils. I use eucalyptus oil because it's cheap and easy to buy, and I don't know if you do know, but eucalyptus oil is excellent for cleaning floors and windowsills because it keeps all ants and creepy crawlies out of your house. It literally banishes insects from inside your house, so it's a banishing oil. That works for me. Okay, you need salt, any salt, table salt. I've got Himalayan rock salt, that's all I have. Some sort of salt to cut. The salt is going to be used to cast a protection circle around you while you do the spell, so that if there is any negative energy around you, it cannot access you while you do the banishing and protection spell. So that's really important, that you cast a salt circle beforehand. You need a candle. I have this itty bitty tiny candle because, so this is where it becomes tricky, because if you have a thick candle, like a big church candle, it's going to be really easy to engrave onto the sigils and the words, but you have to let the entire candle burn to nothing for it to be, the spell to be complete. So I mean, if you want to use a candle like this because it's easier to carve into, maybe put it in a bowl of rice or a plate of rice and put it in the bathtub to burn down. I'm just using a little tiny candle. It's very hard to carve into, but it burns down in like 10 minutes. So it's nice and easy for me to keep an eye on. You will need a tool, a carving tool. I'm just using a sharp knife. If you have a witchy carving tool that you already use for things, that's fine. But a special sharp knife that you've had on your altar is also perfectly fine. You will obviously need a lighter, and you will need an incense stick or a sage stick. If you've got a sage stick, it's better. An incense stick still works. Okay, so and for your candle, you're going to need something to burn the candle onto. I just use like a little rock. You can see I've already done some candle burning onto this rock, and that just sits in the middle of my altar, but whatever works for you. If you've got a special candle holder or something like that, that's perfectly fine. Okay, to start with, we're going to cast the salt circle. So if you're doing this on a space with carpet, that's going to be a bit more difficult to clean up. If you're doing this on a space that's a wooden floor or out, somewhere, then that's going to be much better. So you just cast your salt circle around you. like so. And then you are protected throughout the spell. Okay, so you are going to start off by calling in the guardians. So, guardians of the east, I call you to the guardians of the watchtower of the east. I call you to witness and protect me during my spell. Guardians of the watchtower of the south, I call you to protect me and guard me during my spell. Guardians of the watchtowers of the north, I call on you to protect me and watch over me during my spell. Guardians of the watchtowers of the west, I call on you to guard me and protect me during my spell. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is carve into your candle first a rune of protection, and secondly a word of what you're banishing. So for example, where did I just put that? So here. The rune for protection looks like this. So that is the rune that you need to carve into your candle for protection. And then underneath it, you might put evil, or you might put bad energy, or you might put someone's name, you know, whatever you want. Okay, so you just get your carving thing in your candle, and you just carve in that rune for protection. Carefully. And when you are finished carving in your protection, just like this, if you can sort of see, oh, you can't really see, just like that, then you will cast in spirits, or whatever you want to write. Spirits, be gone. You should probably write bad spirits. Bad spirits, be gone. Okay. So it'll take you a couple of minutes. The first time I did carving into a candle, it took me ages. It doesn't have to be perfect though. It's just the idea. And then you get your banishing oil. Now you're going to open that up. And then because we're sending things away, instead of bringing things to us, sending things away, the oil goes from the end of the candle towards the tip. So if you were bringing things to you, you would swipe the oil the other way, but we're going away from us. Away. Now, if you want to call on a god or a goddess that you really like, for example, you might be working with Aphrodite right at the moment or something like that, you can call on that god or goddess, or else you can just call on, you know, your guardian angels or something like this. To my guardians, please banish any evil from my home and put a protection all around my house to keep all who dwell inside safe, secure and free. Just like that, all the way to the end of the candle. Okay, and when you're happy with that, you can light it. So what I do is I just light the bottom of it like this and get some wax dripping. Oop, burn myself. and then I can stick the candle down onto the rock like that, and then I light the candle. And then you just repeat 3 times the spell. Guardians of the North, Guardians of the South, Guardians of the East, Guardians of the West, Mother Earth and Father Sky, please protect my house and banish any evil or stale energies. Guardians of the East, Guardians of the North, Guardians of the South, Guardians of the West, Mother Earth and Father Sky, please protect my house and banish any stale energies. Guardians of the East, Guardians of the North, Guardians of the South, Guardians of the West, Mother Earth and Father Sky, please protect my house and banish any negative energies. So mote it be. And you must finish with either so mote it be or whatever resonates with you, because that seals it then. Then you're going to get your incense. You're going to light your incense off your candle. Or if you've got a sage, that's even better. Light your sage off your candle. And then as your candle burns down, take the time to go around with the incense or sage and just clear the energy throughout your house. So all the rooms, make sure you get into every corner, in front of every single window, around every doorway. Take the time up to cupboards, around the floor area, up around the ceiling. Take the time to go around your house and really cleanse an incense or sage the whole area. Then when the candle, you can just leave the candle to burn now. What I do is I collect the sander, either in a dustpan and brush or with a little Swiffer or whatever, and I place the sand then that has been magically enhanced through the spell at the doorstep of my house, the front door and the back door. What that does is this is magically charged now in a way that only because you've done a banishing spell to banish any negativity out and protection around your house to stop any more negativity coming in. If somebody with like an actual person or an energy or a spirit with ill intent or negative energy within them wants to come into your house, they will not be able to pass the salt. And you might think, well, they'll just walk over it, but it's really interesting. One of my friends had a neighbor of hers that was constantly coming over and whinging and complaining and bringing a lot of negativity and negative energy in. And she didn't know him well enough to be like, stop, because, you know, it was a bit of a weird situation. So she salted the front door so he couldn't come in. And he stopped. He stopped coming for weeks. And then one day, because this was the other, sorry, I'm saying, he wouldn't knock on the door. He would just walk in and start complaining about stuff, like he lived there. So anyway, she salted the front door, didn't come for weeks. And one day, he was in the house again. And she's like, oh, I didn't see you come in the front door. And he goes, oh, I came in the back door. She'd forgot to salt the back door. She salted the back door, and he hasn't come back. It's like he just stopped thinking about going there. So take the salt that you've magically charged in your spell and place it around the door, sort of like the ledges of the door, to stop any negative energy being able to come in, and that's an extra bonus of protection. So you've got the spell for protection and banishment. You've got the incense that you've now cleansed with, and you've salted the doorways as well. You're going to be extra protected and super safe in your home from now on. I hope you really enjoyed this spell, guys. I hope it wasn't too complicated for newbies, because it is a little bit more complicated than another one. You know, we're getting into runes, in spells like this, all sorts of stuff like that. If you really liked this, please give it a like. You can save it as well so that you can go back through and do it every 6 months or once a year, whatever you feel your house needs, depending on who comes to your house on a regular basis. And you can also send me a DM if you have any questions whatsoever. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Bye.